got to go inside. And now that everybody's stuck inside, for the most part, a lot of us are having a real difficult time from day to day. So I just heard a statistic that relationships are struggling. Even marriages are filing for divorce, breaking up since the quarantines began around this latest virus. And it's interesting that we have, so many of us, never developed or failed to maintain our ability to be alone with ourselves. We have become so dependent on being seen and being heard by other people that we can no longer see or hear ourselves. And so we don't know how to survive emotionally being inside of a confined space, even with people we love or we claim to love, without coming to great conflict. Because isolation allows concentration, and it allows us to squeeze and to press one another, and our character traits to come out. And as our character traits come out, they don't all look so good. So while we're all shut in trying to make lemonade out of lemons, we get to see that sometimes we are the lemon. Sometimes we are the lemon. Sometimes we are pungent, tart, stinging, acidic. Sometimes we just downright toxic as a person. And quarantine helps other people to squeeze on us. It forces us to try to squeeze on ourselves. Those of us with the proper attitude, we can handle being squozen. We can handle it because we're honest with ourselves. We know we have flaws and defects, and we understand and appreciate the need to go inside. Not just inside of a house or a building or an apartment, but to go inside of ourselves and try to squeeze out some of the juice that makes us burn when we touch the wounds of other people, that makes us sting when we are with somebody who needs healing. We cause hurting. So we need to ask ourselves, what if I'm the lemon? What if I'm expecting somebody to deal with me as the lemon and make lemonade, but I'm really in denial about being the lemon? Sometimes I'm the lemon. Not that people can get the nutrients they need from me because I'm a little too strong. Sometimes in life, I've been too strong. Sometimes in life, my need to be healed, to be touched, to be squozen, made me release some juice, some acid that was burning people. And sometimes people can't handle the burn. Sometimes people can't handle the burn because we are in a day and time where we can't take too much pain. We can't take too much pressure. We can't handle somebody disliking us. That's why Facebook and Instagram and other social media platforms, they don't give you a dislike button because they know we can't handle dislike. The only thing we can handle is like. The only thing we can handle is like. And if you give a dislike button as an option, people may actually express some dislike, which would destroy our vanity, which would destroy our narcissism, our self-centeredness, our vanity. And so if you and I, we can't handle dislikes, how can we be good people? Because every human being has something that's hard to like. Every human being has some level, some area of character flaw or defect where they're a great person, but they cause other people pain for whatever reason. And so, I mean, ask yourself while you're on the inside, why don't you go inside? Why don't you see how much juice you got? Why don't you see how many seeds you have? Why don't you think about how acidic you may be to yourself and to everybody who comes in contact with you? So while we're in the house because of the virus trying to make lemonade out of lemons, let's make sure that we know whether or not we are the lemon. And if we are the lemon, why don't we learn how to give our nutrients? Why don't we practice giving our anti-fungal and antivirus capacities to people who are in need of healing and restoration, who are trying to love us and trying to receive love from us, and maybe they're squeezing because I'm not giving. Maybe they're squeezing because I'm being stingy with my juices of life. Maybe I'm keeping my juice of life. I'm afraid to open up. I'm afraid to be vulnerable. I'm afraid to tell the truth on myself. I'm just afraid. I got all this good life-giving juice and energy inside of me, but I don't really want it to come out. I'm afraid to be vulnerable. I don't want you to put no pressure on me. I don't want you to squeeze me too hard. But if you don't squeeze me hard, if you don't put no pressure on my shell, my peel, I can't release the energies of life. And so instead of running from pressure in relationship, instead of avoiding being pressed about my character flaws and my character defects, why don't I lean into it? Why don't I just surrender to the pressure that somebody who loves me and needs my love is putting on me, and trust the process that God put some on the inside of me that he only intended to be released under pressure. So while we're inside, let's not only make lemonade out of lemons, let's make sure to examine ourselves to understand whether or not we're expecting lemonade without realizing that we're actually a lemon.